As you can imagine, this was a massive crime scene. Crime scene detectives recovered a total of 48 shell casings from the scene, which were later identified as being discharged from 6 different firearms. In addition, there were 9 additional firearms recovered at the crime scene that we cannot say were discharged that evening. I share this to highlight the number of guns that we know were present at this party on the evening of the event. To date, 142 statements have been taken by detectives. This includes identified party attendees, suspects, arrestees, tipsters, and other associated persons. Yesterday, on August 11, 2021, Zedekiah Holmes was charged with the murder of Kelvin Elliott and Asia Hester. He was also charged with conspiracy to commit murder, 4 counts of attempted murder for victims who were within his direction of fire, 6 counts of possession of a firearm for unlawful purpose, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a handgun. Zedekiah Holmes is alleged to have been at the party in proximity to numerous .45 caliber shell casings. The state alleges that these shell casings were identified as being fired from a handgun during a prior shooting that occurred on South Burlington Road, for which Mr. Holmes has already been charged and is presently detained in jail. The state has moved to detain Mr. Holmes on this matter, and we anticipate a hearing during the week of August 16th. In addition to this, several other individuals were charged yesterday. Arthur Armstead has been charged in connection with hindering his own apprehension, tampering with evidence, obstruction, and conspiracy to commit these offenses. The state alleges that after the shooting took place, Arthur Armstead traveled to his mother's home, her name is Priscilla Armstead, in Fairfield Township, and was thereafter transported to Wilmington, Delaware by Aladrine Milbourne, where he took refuge with a girlfriend, Tasia Coleman. Surveillance video from Priscilla Armstead's residence in Fairfield Township was deleted. While Arthur was hiding in Delaware, Priscilla Armstead is alleged to have begun organizing Arthur's further refuge in Atlantic City, and she is alleged to have planned to secret him to Atlanta, Georgia. Days later, Armstead traveled from Delaware to Atlantic City, where he stayed in a hotel with another girlfriend, Tajiana Sadler. Thereafter, becoming aware that the authorities were looking for him, Arthur turned himself in to members of the state police for an outstanding warrant for an unrelated charge of unlawful possession of a handgun, for which Arthur Armstead has been detained and is pending trial. The state has moved to detain Arthur Armstead on the charges I am announcing today. Priscilla Armstead, Tasia Coleman, Tajiana Sadler, and Aladrine Milbourne have been charged with hindering apprehension and obstruction and conspiracy to commit those offenses. Priscilla Armstead has also been charged with tampering with evidence. The state has moved to detain Priscilla Armstead, Tajiana Coleman, and Sadler, pending trial, and those motions will most likely be heard during the week of August 16th as well. The state will move to detain Aladrine Milbourne pending trial as well. We know that there are unaccounted guns which were discharged that day, and that there are shooters that have not been held to account for their actions. The streets have been talking. Through anonymous tips and intelligence, we have a good general idea of who was involved and who was responsible for the death of 3 people and the maiming of 11 others. But having a general idea is not enough. The state has an obligation to prove their cases beyond a reasonable doubt, to bring to justice who's responsible for this carnage. To do that, though, we need the help of the public. We need their cooperation and we need their assistance. We know that there were hundreds of individuals at the party at the time of the shooting. Thus far, out of the 140 interviews completed, no one has put weapons in anyone's hands. We need those who were at the party that evening to come forward, to go on record, and to tell us who was shooting that evening. I realize that people in the community may be scared for their safety. However, I took the time to outline the charges that we have filed thus far and to mention to you that we've detained the overwhelming majority of the individuals that are already charged, and we plan to detain the others to demonstrate that the state will use the full measure of their resources to bring the people to justice who have committed these offenses and to detain them pending trial. I implore anyone who was at the party, anyone who has spoken to us and wants to supplement their statement, and or anyone in the community who has information that will lead us to all of the responsible shooters that were at that party on May 22nd to come forward and speak to us. You may do so by reaching out to the New Jersey State Police and or by reaching out to us on the tip line, and that's ccpo.tips, ccpo.tips. We have the capability to converse back and forth with you on that tip line. We can take steps to meet with you discreetly if you have information. Since this event, many people have approached me in this community because it's my community, and they've related how this event shocked the conscious and how we must take steps to assure that this never ever happens again. My thoughts are that law enforcement can't do this alone. Only the community has the power to make this so. They say evil flourishes when good men remain silent. We need the community to say, not our sons, not our daughters, not our city, not our community. I plead with those who have information about the uncharged shooters to come forward and help us bring them to justice.